Hello, everyone, and welcome to Enchanted Chatter. This week we have the wonderful Rebekah Quests on with us, and we couldn't be more thrilled.
We're so excited. We're such huge fans. Literally all of your reels, I think I have constantly on a loop on my phone. Whenever I pull up any sort of social media, I'm like, what did she post? Because it's always making me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I need a little bit of joy.
We lost her. All right.
No.
We had no technical difficulties, and then naturally, I hit the go live button, and that's when we have them. Rebekah will be back with us shortly. Bree, how's your week been?
Oh, it has been a week. Forrest is currently not going to be joining us for quite some time. He is banned from the office.
Oh no, what did he eat?
So he didn't eat anything. That's not the problem. He's got little legs, and I was trying to organize our cards because for the sake of not embarrassing ourselves, I won't show our office, but there are currently cards in piles and boxes just kind of everywhere around our office because we still haven't figured out how to organize everything in here yet since we moved. And so I was going through our little tote that had our Enchanteds in it because I was like looking at our wish list and I was like, there's some on my wish list that I know for sure I have. So I went through it. I was like, I'm going to go through and just like check them all, organize them because they were all just kind of like thrown into this tote when we were moving anyways. So I'm going to get them back in order.
What did he do? What did he do?
Cool. So I had them on a play mat, partially my fault because I was sitting on the ground, but I was stretching, and so my hips, I needed to sit on the ground to be able to stretch.
Also, hold on. You moved away from your mic, so now we can barely hear you. There you go.
I forgot I moved it. And so I was sitting on the ground, so it's partially my fault because I was sitting on the ground, and I had them all out and organized by set number because they were all just like mixed in.
Right.
And so I went through, had them separated by set numbers. We also have all of our promos from DLCs, including like the foil Cindy, like the Let It Go, all of the things were all in this box. Luckily, I made sure they were all in top loaders because some of them weren't, which stressed me out.
I'm
so
scared.
I made sure they were all in top loaders first, but then I had them in stacks on the ground. And then he is a very reactive dog, and there was some sort of noise somewhere, either in our house or at the door or somewhere. And all of a sudden, he went from sleeping behind me to barking and sprinting straight through the pile of Enchanteds.
What did he do? What did he ruin?
He didn't ruin any of them.
Oh, okay.
He just knocked them all over. And just
you needed to start with that because I really thought it was like basically destroyed the foil Cinderella or the Let It Go.
Oh no, I would have cried. I would be in tears. I would still be in mourning.
I did. So this week I was not supposed to be in this setting. I was supposed to be in Florida streaming from another location.
Getting nice and tan.
Getting more nice and tan for the week. But had other plans happen. So now I'm back here. So because I was out yesterday near one of the stores that I don't get to go to as frequently, I was checking Enchanteds there for ones that I'm missing. So we acquired a new one this week.
Ooh, I love it. I was super excited whenever we opened that one.
Yes.
I was like, this one's going to be one of the more expensive ones from the set, so I was glad that we opened it.
I was pleasantly surprised. So I had some store credit, and it was only like it was right around 100. So
that's awesome. That's not bad.
No, it was like they were listed. It was listed maybe $1 above TCG, and then with the store credit, it brought it down to under 100.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I was excited because whenever I was going through all of them, though, I did find some duplicates. We have some duplicates that we can't get rid of for like sentimental reasons, but we had some extra, like 4 extra duplicates that we actually can get rid of.
Oh,
but like we have like the giant Tinkerbell duplicate, but we can't get rid of that one because that was one of them is Decker's because it was the first pack he grabbed as a baby, and then we opened it up and it had Enchanted.
I've tried to get that Enchanted from you for ages.
If anyone we were going to sell it to, it would have been you, but we just couldn't do it.
No, you can't. I understand. I respect it.
Same thing with the extra Shere Khan that we have because I opened it the night before I went into labor with him.
Oh, that's
So,
fair.
like, I can't, like, we opened it was in a league pack. I won like 2 packs that week. Like, that was
Mhm.
it. And opened it up, and Shere Khan was in one of them. So I was like, okay, naturally can't get rid of that one. And so, like, there's
Also,
a few like that were like, we can't get rid of these. But
yeah.
there was 4 in our box. So I'm like, we have no attachment to these. We can use these to get more Enchanteds.
Or you could connect with me first and make sure
Yeah.
that not.
I'm pretty sure you have all of them. They're not very like expensive.
Okay.
But
I'm sure you're right.
I'm pretty sure you have
We're
them.
both
But
getting to the point where we're
I feel
almost.
like I know which Enchanteds you need. But I was excited because I was able to take our list of wanted Enchanteds down.
What are you down to?
15. And they're all from, there's only a couple from set 7, and then the rest of them are all from set 8.
I see, Marianne, you're using the new Twitch emojis that I added.
This is why she was like, we're using Twitch this week.
Yeah. I did some work. I figured things out. Oh, yay!
Yay, she's back!
Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wow, that was exciting.
So I laughed. I basically was just like, we had absolutely no technical difficulties. We did mic checks before we went live. Everything was perfect. Hit that live button and bam.
Literally, she was like, I'm hitting live button right now. And then my computer went, and I was like, what? So, and then my AirPods wouldn't connect. So these are like my son's like gaming headphones that he uses.
Those look like Nintendo Switch headphones.
Yeah, they are. So.
We do what we need to you
gotta make it
10-minute live.
But I'm here. I'm back, and I'm excited.
We are so excited to have you. Now that you are with us, would you like to intro yourself for those of our watchers that don't know you? And if they don't know you,
they live under a rock. But
yeah. Well, I'm Rebekah Quests, and I have an Instagram account, Rebekah Quests, where I create a lot of fun content. I do like skits and song parodies, and then also just sharing about my Disney Lorcana player experience, stuff with my son, and also creating content to help brand new players and all of that. And over the course of my journey, I've gotten the opportunity to be an official broadcaster with Disney Lorcana. So I was part of all the broadcast teams for all 6 of the DLCs in season 1, plus the Continental Championship in North America. And I just did Worlds, which was like a dream experience. It was, and I know we'll probably talk a little bit about that. But that's me. So,
and you actually were one of the commentators the one and only time I have been on stream.
Yeah,
in Texas. It was round 1, and I was mortified because I was paired into the
Brian. Right. Yep. The rat from Chicago. Yep. I do remember that.
And you were so nice after the fact. I ran into you and you're like, no, you did great. Don't worry. You were great out there. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because I felt like I got my butt kicked. So it was really nice that you got to stream that match. That was probably the most excited I was about being on stream was for that reason.
Oh, thank you. I'll have to go back and watch that. But I totally remember that. And I think anyone would have felt nervous playing round 1 against a prior like DLC winner. That's too much for round 1.
Yeah, that's overwhelming for anyone. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not you. I love you.
You're gonna do great. Funny. I was so nervous, but one of our friends who has played TCGs for ages was only in like the row of tables down from me when I sat down that day, and was so nice because we basically got called almost instantly to be the feature match, and we were packing our stuff up, and he was just like, "You've beat me before. You can beat him. Like,
you got this.
You got this."
Yeah, and he was on your turf. Because you're from Fort Worth.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. That was your home turf.
So it was definitely a good moment in like my competitive journey to have that experience and like get over the fear of it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, being on stream is something that I have not yet done, myself. And that just kind of adds like an extra level of, especially I think for, players who if that's your first time being on stream, it's like, then you're like, no people are watching you. And it just adds an extra level of like mental, like something that's occupying your mind. Right.
Oh yeah. I can attest that. I wasn't even on stream and I started panicking thinking I was going to be on stream just because of, for whatever reason, I just had it in my head that was about to happen because I was just doing semi-decently well at the beginning of a tournament at PPG. And I was like,
oh no.
Liam was one of the casters for it. And I was like, what if this happens? I panic instantly. Courtney, I think my deck is wrong. What if I submit the deck list and my cards are wrong?
We had to do a deck check ourselves because
I was convinced
that she miscounted her deck.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was a good time.
Yeah, and then Liam literally was like laughing at me later. Was like, I mean, your intuition was right. I was about to, but you panicked for no reason. He's like, "You're fine.
You're fine. You're fine."
Like, breathe.
So I wanted to ask you about recently. I saw, Rebekah, you posted a deck in one of the Discords we're in together that was commons and uncommons, like fairy and different flying creatures. I think you called it Fly My Pretties.
I did.
And I want to know, did you play that at League yesterday? Or did you play
didn't.
Something else?
I ended up playing something else because I ran out of time to put it together, but I want to build that deck so bad. And yeah, I'm really proud of the deck name. It
was good.
Deck names I think are just as important as the deck itself.
That's what makes it actually memorable. Is the name.
Is the name. So yes, Fly My Pretties, and it was like a lot of birds and evasives and floodborns and emerald amethyst and all common and uncommon and Tinkerbells and Archimedes and all of that. And after I put it together and looked at it, I was like, I think this could actually like do really well. Like this could be really fun.
When I saw it, I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. This is really only commons and uncommons, but I feel like this wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, no, I wish I had more time. And what I ended up taking, so we do every 2 weeks, we do a different theme. So this was week 2. So I won't get to do it next week, but I took the Ruby Steel starter deck for Reign of Jafar. And I just took out the rares and super rares, which was only like 6 or 7 cards, and then put in some extra of the commons and uncommons that had like 2 and 3 of, just to bump them up. And I took that.
You did okay though, because I saw you posted on your story. Yeah. You went 2 and 1.
I did, yeah. Well, we only did 2 rounds, so I lost round 1, but I won round 2. But round 1, it was pretty close both games, and I was playing against an Amethyst Steel deck, which Amethyst Steel commons and uncommons are wild. Like there's too many good cards that are commons and uncommons, and so he definitely took those both because I kind of got stuck and stalled out mid game or whatever. But the deck did really well for considering,
I mean, anything that can do decently well against Amethyst Steel cannot be a bad deck because that's such a hard deck to beat.
Yes.
Steel has answers
you guys
for like
do
everything.
Theme nights at your league. That's really cool.
It's so fun. So yeah, we do it every 2 weeks now. We were doing it every 1 week, but then it was like, that's a lot to build a brand new theme deck every week. And sometimes you just don't have time or whatever. So we just decided to go to every 2 weeks having a new theme. So that way you can, if people want to build a new deck, they can, but otherwise you can keep the same deck for a couple weeks in a row. So we've done like Pirate Night and Royals Night where it's all princesses and queens and kings, and we did a mono color night where you had to have all one color, and we made people roll a dice to choose their color, so that it was
fun.
Random.
I love that so much.
So that way everyone wasn't all picking, amethyst or whatever. So that was fun. So we've done a lot of different fun theme nights, and I've really enjoyed it. I know that League looks different everywhere and every store runs it differently. And before this, I was going to a league that was just really focused on competitive play only. So it was like a set champs every week, basically all the meta decks every single week in and out. And some people love that and they want that. But for me, I was like, I can't do it anymore.
It gets brain numbing after a while.
That, because in our area, most of our stores are it's set champs every week.
Yeah.
It's meta. It's very, very competitive. But there are a couple people at some of our leagues that will bring fun decks. And I always I feel a little guilty because when I get paired into them, I'm like, oh, I have this very meta deck. And I'm like, this is not going to be fun for you. This isn't fair.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to bring this idea to one of our local stores and see if we can do this.
I feel like Liz would be down to do it at least every couple weeks.
Yeah, or even once a month or something. If you did that, because I think that's what I was doing at the other store was I was getting tired of. I mean, I enjoy doing competitive play, and I do, and I enjoy it, but I just want to play casually most of the time. And I was taking my puppy deck and my broom deck and my whatever deck to the competitive league, and then I would get smashed every week, and then it just became unfun after a while. And so I found a new store to play at, and and I'll go when I'm in the mood to play my competitive deck. Like this last week I took my Ruby Amethyst deck and went and played at that store. So yeah. Oh, who's the Steel Song player?
I hate Steel Song. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Can I play it decently? Yes. Do I enjoy playing it? No. Do I enjoy playing against it? Very much no.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help, Bree, that I play Steel Song.
The two people that I play the most with are Steel Song experts, and so I'm just great. This is not fun for me, guys. Y'all are just beating me up. I don't normally play my yellow green aggro, not Turtle Dogs that people think it's Turtle Dogs. Yeah, it's yellow green. And fun.
Yeah, Amber Steel is a deck that I never really liked. And I kind of despised it, but then I ended up playing it last set for set champs and got top 8. So
I forced myself to play it to get better at it because I felt like I kept losing to it every set where it was always my kryptonite because I would just there's so many answers that the deck has for so many things that I would just get overwhelmed thinking of all the things that my opponent could do.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh gosh. And so I was like, I need to just play the deck so I know what lines they are actually looking for instead of just getting so overwhelmed by so many different lines.
Yeah.
Because there are certain lines that they do look for. There are some loopholes, but I could prepare myself more for a specific line instead of just being overwhelmed by there's 13 different options that they have.
Yeah. And knowing if I saw what cards are out right now, I'd be playing this card next. And then how
exactly. And so I forced myself to do it. And so that's when I discovered I was like, okay, I am actually decent at playing the deck because I've seen two people that I love very much playing it so much. I can actually pilot the deck pretty well myself, which made me hate it slightly less. But still, I can't play my silly nonsense decks against it, so I don't like it.
That is true.
It's my kryptonite.
Well, I would love to, before we get into really drilling you, Rebekah, I wanted to take some time. I know the Illuminateers featured Stephanie on their podcast on Monday, and we wanted to as well. She mentioned that she was just diagnosed with cancer, and we really just wanted to send our well wishes and also let everybody know that's part of the Lorcana community that she's going to be putting up a store. So if anyone is interested in helping support her in this journey, we would love for you to take a look at her shop and take some time to send some well wishes on her Instagram, because we know cancer is not a fun journey, and we really wish her the best and to kick butt against it, and hopefully everything turns out well.
Yeah.
We just got our package back from her, and I was like, if we had known, we would have sent even more things.
Yeah. So sorry to bring down the mood a little there, but really want to make sure that we're supporting our artists in the community. We're big collectors as well as competitive players. So always something that we strive to do.
Yeah, 100%. She's so wonderful.
I need to start my unintentional collection of artist things that I started because of Kendall Hale. So he did one doodle on something for me, being silly because we were talking to him as he was signing a bunch of cards and stuff for us. And he did something for me because I thought it was funny, and then it just started like a whole thing. And now I have a bunch of them from a bunch of different people. So now I have to just stick with it.
Nice.
Well, bringing us back to you, Rebekah, we'd love to take some time to talk to you about your Lorcana journey and what got you involved in Lorcana and sort of how everything started.
Yeah. Where should we start?
All right, so you're a mom. I want to start with a specific question.
Okay, yes.
Coming from a mom. So you have 2 kids that are older. How do you manage all of the things that you do? Because you do so much in the Lorcana community, and then having teenagers that's also in the Lorcana community, but they also have their own things that they are doing, and you have so much. I feel like you're juggling all these different hats that you're constantly shuffling between. How do you even begin to start doing this and doing it as well as you are doing it? Because you make it look so seamless.
Well, thank you for that. It is definitely, well, I hate using the word. I'm going to use it, but then I'll say more about it. But it's a balancing act, with like, family and work and content creator stuff and everything. I have always been like a serial hobbyist and always had lots of things that like I was really involved in. I come from a theater background. And so, when you're in shows and rehearsals, that takes up a lot of time. And so I think with my husband and I, he's just always known me as being a person who has, hobbies or interests that take up a lot of time in my life. And he knows that about me. And so that's one thing, is having a partner who is just really supportive of me doing all of these things is really wonderful. And yeah, I played Magic when I was in junior high and high school. I very casually, just with friends. I was the only girl that I knew that played, but I had like a group of guy friends that played Magic and stuff. And then I didn't touch it for like years. And I've always been a big Disney fan. And so then I heard like, oh, there's a card game that's like sort of like Magic, but it's Disney. And yeah, I will sign up for that for sure. And then as I started looking on what was out there online, as far as not just like content, but just like the communities that were out there and what people were talking about and were there accounts to follow. First of all, there wasn't very much because it was at the very beginning. And a lot of the communities that I saw, like Facebook and stuff, which is just kind of like how Facebook is. Facebook is Facebook. And there was a lot of like
everybody knows
stuff. Yeah. And I was like, oh, no, none of this. And especially in regards to like new players, like a lot of just like toxic, people would ask genuine questions of like trying to learn the game, and people would be like, just read the card, dummy, and whatever.
Reading the card explains the card.
Yeah. And
least favorite
yes. Oh, like, can someone help me? Like I keep losing, get good, And I was just like, okay, no, we need to like have a better approach and be more welcoming and stuff. And I started playing also because I was like, oh, I wonder if my son would enjoy playing this, because I guess when the game came out, he was, like 13 or 14 at the time. And he also kind of knew how to play Magic a little bit. He never got into Pokemon, but he did know how to play Magic. And I was like, this could be something that we could do together. And it has been, which I'm very, very glad for, especially as he's gotten older. It's nice to have something that I can stay connected with him over, being a mom with a teenage son. There's not always going to be a lot of hobbies that necessarily overlap. And so it's nice that we found something. I know. It's being a boy mom being a boy mom can be hard. And I think that having this thing that we can do together, and even if we're not always like playing together, that it's still like a common interest. We could talk about it. It keeps us connected. And he does have lots of other things that he's doing. And then I have my daughter who's 12, who's not very interested in the game at all, and that's fine. And my husband doesn't play either. But because they are older, that allows for a lot more freedom for me. Like, it's just a different stage of life, of motherhood, when you have kids that are self-sufficient. Like, they can get themselves up in the morning and they can make their own meals even. And, right now they're home for summer, and I work from home. So I work like 3/4 time and then do Disney Lorcana stuff. But my kids are home while I'm home, but they're like taking care of themselves all day. So it is a different stage of life. And I've talked to other parents that have younger kids. They're like, how do you do it? I'm like, well, it's different. Let me tell you, it is very different having a 15-year-old instead of a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old or 18-month-old. So, but also back to the balance thing is like, there is no such thing as balance. And it kind of like bugs me when people talk about like that. It's like, no, sometimes you're going to give a little bit more here and sometimes you're going to give a little bit more there. And everything is always kind of out of balance. But I guess generally across the board, things do kind of balance out. But especially in the beginning, when I started my account, I think I poured a lot more time and energy into the content that I was doing, more than I am now, because I was just starting and I was trying to get the momentum going. And now I think I am able to kind of relax a little bit more. I still do a lot, but
I was about to say, I can't imagine.
You still do a lot. But
I love you saying, I have relaxed.
Yes. Yeah.
A new reel every day. I see a new cool concept, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could
reels that take
half
like
ideas.
You have people like helping you with these reels too, from like all over. Sometimes,
oh yeah,
I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's really fun to do the collaboration with some of the other content creators or people from the community every once in a while. I wish I could do more of those. And some reels do take a long time, and some take a lot less. I am terrible. Like, don't take my advice, okay? Because what I do is, and I think it's just the way that my brain is wired, is I'm just like, what is inspiring me today? What creative impulses do I have? Or what, is making me laugh, or what's going on in the community that I want to like respond to? And I just kind of like take it as it comes, which they say, oh, you should batch create content and schedule things out to like make it more manageable. And if I was doing that, I would stop creating. I think, being a theater person, and I've always been like a creative, and as they say,
a creative.
And I just can't operate in so much like structure. If I have too much structure, then I'm just like, I might as well just not do it, And
it
so
turns into work.
It turns into work. Exactly. And I'm like, I just want to have fun. So what today would be fun to do and fun to create? And that's what I do. And I always am like having fun. That's my main thing, is I'm like, what? And if I'm having fun, then I know other people will have fun. And
I think that definitely comes
your fun is definitely contagious. Because like, I can't tell you how many times like I've been watching your reels, and I'll have to rewatch it because I was genuinely just laughing about it, and I'm like, wait, I probably missed something. I'm gonna rewatch it. Or I'm just like, it was funny. I'm like, oh, I have to show my husband, or I have to send this to so and so. I'm like, it's really just, it brings me joy. And I'm like, you just tell you're having so much fun in it. And that's what brings your viewers joy also, is just because they're like, she is so happy. And that's one of the things that we love about the community, is just the joy and happiness of bringing everyone together. And I think you're really one of the main people, I feel like, that's very good about like, you walk through the room and everyone just like can feel you're happy and genuine just energy everywhere around you, and it's so great.
Thank you. And I think that being genuine is also something like a value of mine. And there are days or experiences that I have in Lorcana that aren't always happy, and I've tried to share those moments too. And I like losing at set champs or being frustrated about this experience or that. And because I understand, we're all like humans, and the human experience has ups and downs. And that goes for even within the tiny Disney Lorcana bubble that I'm creating content for. And so as much fun and joy as positivity as I love to bring, like, I also want to be genuine to my experience. And I think that that's something that I've noticed that people connect with as well. And like, hearing people say like, oh, I'm so glad you shared that because I've experienced that too. And like making sure that people don't feel like they're alone in those moments either. So we can all laugh,
And like you're saying about talking about the lows and not making it a low conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Because like there are certain ways you can talk about it where you're like, yes, this was not great. And there's ways you can go about it where you feel good still coming out of the conversation. And I think you're really good at doing that.
Thank you. That's good to hear. I try to like approach every topic in a way that can still be, encouraging, even in the midst of frustrations and things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think some of even like your content that is about the lows can be funny, which is like, I know you recently posted one and the sound had my name in it and everybody was like, Courtney, what did you do?
What did you do?
I was like, I didn't mean it.
Or like one of my favorite ones was the reel that I made about Broomgate.
Yes.
The bag. That was one of my favorite reels. Yeah. So I do. It's good, I think, to bring some levity to some situations. So
absolutely.
After today, I might have to make
I'm curious. You talked a lot in your reaction video or like retrospective video on Worlds about being the only female commentator throughout a lot of the season and Worlds, and kind of the weight is probably not the right way to phrase it, but just knowing sort of what it feels like to represent a lot of the women who aren't seen in the TCG space. And I'd love for you to share some of your feelings on that with us.
Yeah. When I was first asked, and I kind of said this a little bit in the video, like I was like, oh yeah, representation is like important. And of course, and that's always been in any space is important. But when I started going to events and meeting people and having more conversations, I was like, oh, this is like way more important. And I think weight maybe is the right word. Like I did start to feel the, that there's just such a deep need for representation and how much people really appreciated it. And I started, was it maybe it was in Seattle. It might have been kind of late when I met a mom and her daughter, and she was having this conversation with me about her daughter watching the broadcast and everything. And I just like started like crying, like talking to her about it. And I was like, I can't handle this. And being the only female, it comes with ups and downs, of course. I think that you're gonna right
comments,
the Twitch chats, whatever. The people are going to be what they're going to say what they're going to say, and that's fine. But it's always, to me, it's interesting because it's like it's data, and I don't take it personally. But man, the patriarchy is real, right? Like like that's a good way to like think about it.
It's so real. And I loved the point you brought up about hating that a lot of the community has kind of been pitting you against other female creators in the space and being like, oh, there's only one spot for women on the team when there are other teams that are all women. And it shouldn't be that way at all. And I loved what you said about it isn't just you against everyone else. It's all of us. We should all be trying our best. We should all be cheering each other on. And that's something that I value super strongly. I've been in environments where it's the opposite, and I've been in environments where it's a lot more supportive, and I have always thrived in the supportive environment and wanted
Of course.
that to be the environment I gave out. And that's why we started this channel. Because we want to keep lifting up other women in spaces that they aren't normally in and aren't normally recognized. So it's really great.
We can only adopt so many women that show up at locals. Chelsea. We only have so many that show up that we're just like, oh, another girl. We take her. We keep her in it.
Yeah. And what's interesting about the comments of saying like that there's just like this baked in idea of like, oh yeah, you can only have one, but you need the one because you got to have, representation is important, but only one. Like I don't think that anyone who's saying those things like even realizes where it's coming from, and so I appreciate that there's many people I know in the community who, if I pointed something like that out to them, they'd be like, oh yeah, I hadn't really thought about it that way. And there are lots of men that I've had discussions with in the Disney Lorcana community that are very open to like listening and hearing and like relearning, and going, oh, okay, that was not, because I don't have your experience, that wasn't something I had thought about. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. So I really do appreciate that about a lot of the men in the Disney Lorcana community. But even like for any of the women out there, like I'm like, it's even more important for any females that are interested in becoming a caster or whatever. Like, don't let the patriarchy win the mind games.
Exactly. Don't take yourself out of the game before you even get a piece in it.
Yeah. So I am hopeful. I think that there are so many amazing women creators and people who are doing casting, and I'm waiting for the day when there are multiple women on the team. I know that it will happen someday. It's just a matter of when, not if, that it will happen. And that's something too, like I was talking with the other casters, and they weren't necessarily talking about, obviously they're all men, so they weren't talking about females, but talking about how wonderful it is to be on the team, but also wanting to leave the door open for others to come in, that it's, and that's something for me, especially with other women, that I'm like, yeah, it's not, I don't want to, like, I don't hold on to the title of being the only woman on the broadcast team is like not a title that I want to have, right? Yeah. Like that's
the more the merrier,
right? Yeah. That's not a trophy I need to win.
High School Musical, we're all in this together.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad we all know that dance and immediately can go into it.
Absolutely. There was talk at one point of doing a reel, like a collaboration reel, and I was like, "Oh, I know the dance. We can do that." It's an end up happening, but
oh my
gosh, needs to happen.
Sign me up if you ever need it. It lives. There are things that live rent free in my brain, and a lot of them pertain to musicals because I am very much a theater kid as well.
Yes,
I wasn't even a theater kid, and I can do every dance song in the series.
I love it
because I loved them. Those and Mamma Mia had my heart.
Well, there you go.
Mamma Mia is what started getting me into musical movies where I was like, I like this. And then I was like, ooh, wait. And then I started getting like High School Musical, The Greatest Showman, and started really going into things.
I'm slowly turning Brie into a theater kid.
I love it. Everyone should be a theater kid.
Absolutely. What was your favorite part of Worlds?
Oh, yeah. That's a hard one. That is a trick question, all of it. I think that if I had to pick a moment of the actual event that just really probably meant a lot was the opening and seeing the video that they played and then opening the show with Baker and which I was so glad that we got to do that together, because not only is he just awesome, but kind of having this cross-continental representation with North America and Europe and and just like that we were there, and it was so exciting. And there was a bunch of all the players were in the room, and there was a bunch of people from Ravensburger in the room, and just like kicking off the whole broadcast. And what's interesting is probably not a lot of people thought about this, but once I say it, you'll be like, oh yeah. It was so different this time because we were live the entire show.
Oh, I don't think I realized that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so in previous DLCs and even in North American Continental Championship, it was on a delay, and most everything that I did, like the opening, except for the awards were live, but like the player interviews but like the opening the show, that was a pre-recorded segment where we would record it and then they popped it on screen when the broadcast went live, and then we were on a delay. And the commentary was live, but it was like pre-recorded games. But then my pieces were pre-recorded. But for Worlds, it was live. And so there was just, I think, a lot of excitement in that moment to be bringing the broadcast to the community, having it be live there in Walt Disney World. And so I think that's the moment that like it all just kind of like was like, this is real. It's happening. Yeah. So, and so much excitement and everything. So that might be my favorite moment. There are so many other favorite moments, though.
That's honestly,
every time I hear one of y'all talk about something that happened there, I'm like, oh man, that sounds so cool. And they're like, I think this was my favorite part. And like they think about it, they're like, actually, wait, no,
yes,
like,
yeah,
maybe it was this.
Yep,
like,
that's how it is.
I do have to bring up, since we've sort of made it through Worlds, I know that you had a struggle while you were not at Worlds, but after, when you went to Disney World. Your poor Kelly girl soul was not feeling the weather in Florida.
It was dumb. It was so dumb. That was my word for the weekend. I was like, the air is dumb. You guys, I don't understand the air. Liam was making fun of me. Brandon was making fun of me, because they're from the South, Texas and Alabama and wherever else. And they're like, Rebekah, it's not even that bad. There's like a cloud cover and there's a little bit of a breeze. And I'm like, this is not bad.
As someone from the Midwest originally, I am from the Chicagoland area. I am not from the South. I'm a transplant here. My parents are also from the Chicagoland area. They transplanted down to Florida after they retired. I can sympathize with you, but I'm telling you, you have to give it another chance.
I know. That's what I know. You've already told me that. And I've had other people say like fall or like December, January time is much better. I'm like, I don't believe you.
I'm from the South. Lived in the South, went up to Colorado, and I was like the opposite, because whenever we lived up in Colorado, I think I hated being outside. About 95% of the time I was outside.
Dry heat is different. Yeah, it's different. It was different.
It was the cold that got me.
Oh, yeah.
It was the blizzards and it hurt to breathe because it was so cold. I was like, no, like I'd rather struggle in humidity to breathe than have to.
That's why
nonsense.
California is just the best. It's not,
not too cold, not too hot.
Not too hot. Right. I mean, it does get 100 degrees here in the summer. I will grant you that. So it does get warm, but it's it's a dry heat.
Disneyland in January though, that felt fantastic.
Disneyland,
it was so nice outside.
Yeah,
even with all the fires and everything chaotic going on all around us.
Yeah,
it felt great at Disneyland.
So when I was at Epcot, I went on Thursday on the day I arrived, and I had an after hours ticket, and so it was at night, and the sun was down, and it was still very warm, and I had my little like portable fan with me, and I could like make it through. But Monday, when we were in the park, Magic Kingdom all day, I was like, I can't do it. And so I was like, all the things that I could do inside, I was like, let's do the Monsters Inc. laugh floor, and I'm going to go to Country Bear Jamboree, and I'm going to go to the Tiki Room, and I'm going to go look in the shops. So it was, my body just didn't know how to handle it.
The humidity is definitely for sure what gets you, especially because like Florida, I feel like I equate it more to like Houston, where it's just humid and sticky, and you feel just kind of like a little gross just being
Yeah.
outside.
I
just 'cause
agree.
it's
That's a good
the
comparison. I
moisture.
just also will say no one go to DC in the middle of summer because it's
Oh,
also a
similar.
swamp and miserable. That's another.
The only other time that I really experienced humidity, like for real, was I had to go on a work trip to St. Louis in like August. And I remember being in my hotel room and I looked out the window and I was like, oh, it's like raining outside. I'll put on a sweater. And then I walked outside and I was like, oh.
What did I do? I made a mistake.
So that was definitely how Florida kind of felt.
Yeah,
But
I was here the other day, so
I
I
had
get
fun.
it.
I had fun still, even despite the humidity.
Well, I think we've covered worlds. I think that brings us to the daunting subject of today, which is the first DLC ticket release. It was
Something.
I messaged you, Rebecca, earlier today. I was like, that was rough.
That was Florida weather.
That was
it's
Florida.
dumb.
Yes.
We're just gonna.
Yeah.
It was definitely rough. I know Bree and I both did not get either attendee badges or competitor badges.
Mhm.
Courtney was also on the mission trying to get it for both of us because of I've said it on here a few times. I don't know if you know, I've had some health issues, and so I had to get some scans done this morning. I was at the hospital, and so Courtney was on a mission to try to get stuff for both of us. And
Yeah.
then I was like looking at stuff. I was like, she's gonna be lucky if she can get anything for like one of us to be able to go. And I was like, oh gosh, nothing's happening.
I think for me, I'm like, I knew it was going to be bad no matter what, right? Because first of all, there's only 3 events happening this time, and there's only so many tickets that they're going to have, and there's so many people trying to get those tickets. So most people were going to be disappointed, and we knew they were going to sell out fast, but the way that it all happened was just it was a mess.
Unfortunate.
It was unfortunate. And to me, the biggest, and I think I said this actually in the official Discord, because Greg Tito, the communications manager, was in the official Discord saying some things, and he did acknowledge that the switch to Eventbrite and how that was communicated was
That's what did me in.
that was not
right away.
handled well. Right. Yeah. And so that to me was the biggest misstep of the day. And I'm glad that they acknowledged that. And I think that if it had just been, they sold out in 10 seconds or 2 seconds or whatever, and
people would have been disappointed, but not as upset as they are.
Yeah.
People felt like they at least still felt like they had a chance, but it just
Yes.
didn't work out for them.
Right. Yeah. First come, first serve. And I wasn't first, and that's a bummer. But what can you do about it? But it was like the early ticket thing happened, and then the switch to Eventbrite, and
One thing after another.
Yeah. And the fact that it wasn't shared except for in the Discord. So only people who were like watching that Discord, like eagle eyes, saw the link, or, at first. And by the time it got shared around, then people, like you were saying, Courtney, like kind of the window was closed. Yeah.
So that was it was a bummer. I don't want to harp on it, because I think
it's
the Discords and social media, it's all been said.
It's all been said. Yeah.
So I'm
hoping they'll figure out some sort of way to make it up to people, because I know there's a lot of people. I don't want people. There's been a lot of talk of people I know around us that we're already unhappy about just being less DLCs in general, and we're already considering not playing the game anymore. And I'm hoping that this doesn't detour too many people.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear. I think with it is we keep having like the ball feels like it keeps getting dropped, and I think it just makes me worried that the community is going to give up on the game, and that's what I don't want to happen.
Yeah.
I'm really I'm hopeful. I know that they talked about releasing some more attendee badges and maybe even competitor badges. So I'm still trying to remain optimistic that I will be able
All
to.
I want is an attendee badge.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with not getting a competitor badge. Like, I
Yeah.
just want an attendee badge. I can go and see friends from all over that I've made in the community. I would be perfectly happy.
Yeah.
With just an attendee badge.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody today about what events look like in other card games, and they were saying like, oh, in Magic there's like there are Magic Cons. I think they're called Magic Cons, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
they
Magic
really are
Con.
like
I have
mini
badges for them around.
conventions, and that it's like, oh, there's a main competitive event that's like 1,000 or 2,000 people, but then there's like 5, 6, 10,000 other people there for the whole event. And I'm like,
Mhm.
man, I obviously that's not happening.
As somebody that's
Now,
into Magic
but-
Con, if Disney Lorcana could do that,
I would be
my collector soul, I would be giddy.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that that's probably the direction that eventually that the game will get there. And so I'm like, that's someday that's what Disney Lorcana events will be like. And the event, or not the event, the game is just hitting its 2-year mark, you know, and it's just this season 2 of DLCs. Like, it's still growing, and I get that, but hopefully
they definitely don't think we're ready for it to be as many people that were ready to jump in so quickly for it to be as competitive.
I think so.
Like, I think you're expecting more of the casual,
the Disney fans,
Disney
collectors,
the moms trying to play with their sons, like that sort of like they want to go and have fun type of thing. And I don't think they were expecting as many people like me, who brought my very competitive husband who played Magic competitively with me into Disney Lorcana, who was like, okay, if I want to play, but I want to play competitively because I like winning and I like winning things.
And you just brought your son in a stroller to the DLCs you went to.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I was the psycho, if you remember from Chicago. I was the one in the back that had the stroller and the tiny baby with me.
I mean, I think though that's like,
I think that's
what makes it so wonderful, right?
That's what makes I bring him to these events, and I get nervous packing up to get there. I always get a little nervous because I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna do. I don't know how people are gonna be very receptive of me having a small child with me. And every time I can say I've been bringing him to events since he was 2 months old.
Mm-hmm.
Since and every single time I bring him somewhere, everyone around me is nothing but super supportive, happy, and honestly helpful. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to events and even like TOs have been like, hey, like, you didn't ask for an accommodation, but we're going to go ahead and like set you up in this table and this is going to be yours. And we're going to leave this one next to you empty so you have space for him. And like, have gone like out of their way to really help me with things, especially whenever I had just started bringing him to things that people were I was like, I didn't even know I could do this. I didn't know this was an option.
Right?
Definitely also people of the community here. Everybody loves when he comes to League, when he goes to
He's known so much at one of our local game stores that we went there the other day, and they didn't even have Lorcana going on. It was a Pokemon tournament though. And I guess just people that sometimes one of their league nights overlaps with Pokemon and Lorcana.
They're like, hey!
He likes looking at Pokemon cards. He thinks Pikachu is cool. He's into anything yellow at the moment. And so he likes looking at Pikachu cards. And we were going around there and he was just running around. There's huge Pokemon tournament. And we knew people at tables and they were just like all so sweet and so nice, just because I'm like, they're used to seeing him at game stores and he's just like walking around and looking at cards and hi and walking around to people. So I'm like, he's very much used to being at game stores at this point.
When I went to Chicago, because I was on the broadcast team for Atlanta, but I was casting remotely with John T. And so Chicago was the first time that I was there in person. And I remember walking around on one of the days and seeing so many parents with kids of all different ages.
So many.
And it like made me cry. I was like,
Seeing
this
all the parents
makes
playing
me
with their kids.
so happy. Yeah. I'm like, this is so like wonderful that Disney Lorcana is a community that looks like this, and that there are families and kids. And I know other games do as well. It's not that other games don't have kids, but I think that Disney Lorcana just like even more so. And yeah, people just want to go to these events. So hopefully they'll have less ticket issues in the future and they'll improve. That's the hope.
They're gonna get the kinks all figured out. They're hiring people with lots of experience in the Magic community. I think Wizards of the Coast. I believe there's been a lot of people hired on from Wizards that are now working for Ravensburg for this. So hopefully they can kind of help with some of the transitions, and they have a little bit more, since they're gaining more people, because they're not getting rid of people, they're just adding to their team.
Adding to the team.
So hopefully that's just going to make it where like, hey, this person,
Growing pains.
literally, this is what they did for Magic. So they're going to know how to set this up and kind of be able to work out some of the kinks maybe a little bit faster. Whereas Magic's been around for like 20 something years. So they have a system that works
30.
for them.
Yeah.
Did any of the game stores near you, Rebekah, the last weekend have set champs? Or
no.
So it's funny. We had no set champs last weekend either. None.
I think everyone kind of wanted to break between worlds, and it jumped into so quickly.
There might have been one store actually that had their set championship, I think. But it's like, I feel like there's a lot in our area for some reason that are like 2 weekends that they're all like happening.
They all decide to overlap with each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about your local game stores, but there's a very large Yu-Gi-Oh community actually around us. And this past weekend, there was apparently a really big Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Oh.
And so a lot of them didn't have Lorcana also, just because that was also happening. And so they were doing stuff like they had Yu-Gi-Oh streaming at the game store that we went to, and they had people there. I had no idea. So I was like, that might be why a lot of stores just didn't do anything last weekend.
That's really fair. I did not know that. Well, because neither of us had decks to share, I reached out to the Love to Lore community to see if anyone had some lists that they were willing to share and that they top aided with. So I thought we could highlight some of those. The one trend you will see
I love it.
There's a lot of blue, red, and blurple.
This deck is so much fun.
Decks that I don't like to play. But I'm very excited for everyone. This blurple deck is awesome.
I love it.
Blurple is such a fun color pairing to play.
It really is. I also just like saying blurple for some reason as well.
It itches my brain.
It does. I think that this is a really great list. I'm sure that this Peter Pan is just doing work right now. It's such a good line in any of the Amethyst decks that are playing him. It's so good.
I don't know of any Amethyst decks right now that aren't playing him. Like I think I even saw him in some Steel, just because it's so good against like Diablo and Shark. So if you do see a Diablo, which we don't see many around us, but I'm sure a lot of people do still see them, but he's such a quick, easy answer to it that a lot of people have deterred from it because there's so much Amethyst around us.
And then we have this. I like this first.
I like your name.
I like the name.
As we were saying earlier, the name, it's really, it helps. So this is featuring the Merlin's Carpet Bag, which is definitely, I feel like, the new tech card in the Ruby Sapphire pairing right now.
Yeah. I really like Merlin's Carpet Bag, actually. And I know Workshop is great. Like, I'm not saying Workshop is not great, but like Carpet Bag when it pops off, it pops off.
Yeah.
And it's like with the popsicles, and it does so much work. And yeah, it's fun to see that in this deck. Anytime I see a list that has Martin Carb's bag, I'm like, yeah, bring the bag.
I also, they have 4 Be Prepareds. I'm interested on the Sisu count because I definitely playing against these types of decks a lot. I am used to seeing a 3 or 4 count in the Sisu spot, but it looks like they probably split the Hades with it, which is definitely not a bad choice.
Okay, I think Sisu is an 8 cost.
It's mean.
Hades cost 1 less. It's a little bit easier to get out. They don't have the shift Sisu. I think if they had the shift,
I was just noticing that. I'm like, you don't have a shift target. The problem though, and I think this is where like really it depends on like your local meta, right? Like we have so much Amber Steel, and so it's like, Pete is out there, so I'm gonna put in more Sisus and take out some of my Be Prepared if I'm running a list like this. But I understand, yeah.
I understand the more B preps with the less Sisus, because Sisu is essentially a one-sided B prep. But.
Yeah, there was during PPG I played against one of these deck lists, and they got 3 manners out against one point.
No.
And I was like, and I concede. We can go to the next game.
That's some that's some DKP moves right there.
This one, the name is awesome. It's Morphing Time.
Morphing Time
is really great. I like this list. So the last list we looked at, I don't believe had any goofies, so it didn't have the super goof.
I love super goof.
One does. I'm a big fan.
There's so much aggro right now. I feel like super goof is so good.
Yes, agreed. And that's there's a lot of aggro in our meta right now, so I lean towards
We're still aggro. Anyone that followed the PPG event can look at the most played decks there, and Amber Steel aggro is like number 2.
This is interesting that there's no carpet bag. There is no Merlin's Workshop.
It's not very items.
Yeah, so I think this is leaning towards like the DKP build. It is pretty much the only item is Popsicle. So this is sort of that like other.
I think you have to have Popsicle.
Spectrum.
You can't play blue and not play Popsicle.
No, it really is the card draw for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have, like the sail and the visions to help filter through.
Aside from like Mickey from set 1.
This is Bree. This is close to the list that I played in the 3v3.
I was gonna say this looks like what I call our more like traditional Ruby Sapphire, like what we're used to seeing. I thought this is very similar to like our friend Kyle's list that he played.
Which also has it has the split of the 2 Hades, 2 Sisus, and then 4 Be Prepareds.
Yeah, I think in my list I was not running Hades. I was running
Hades. I think is the outlier here, but
I like Hades. Hades is good.
Hades is great.
I just love the art. Any excuse I can have. That's part of why I started playing Blurple, is just because I was like, oh, I can play Hades. Done.
Yeah. I think the main reason I didn't for PPG play Hades was because we were anticipating a lot of aggro and I didn't want to give them more ink.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Also, it's just I think you play a little bit more lower cost things and it's already pretty expensive
Yeah, and I was playing the shift target for Sisu.
Yeah, for Sisu. So it made more sense for you to
But I like this list. If I were someone who liked playing these colors, I might play it. But I only play this when it's the last option, and Bree and our other friend won't pick these colors to play, and I took one for the team.
Did.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I was like, for the 3v3, we should have just done like 3 different aggro decks.
Crazy colors,
like 3 crazy hyper aggro decks, and just be like, hey, we're just gonna lose against Amber Steel and then just beat everything else.
Yes. This list I love. It's great.
Love it. Yep.
Very good.
I absolutely love Namari.
0 notes on this list.
Namari is great. I think she's so good. She's so fun. I
I play her in my Steel Song list this set as
Mhm.
well, and I've been loving her even if I still lose in the Ruby Sapphire matchup. Being able to one-shot the big Tamatoa makes me feel very happy.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying,
Is
the
a
only thing
clam?
that could make
Happy as a
this
clam?
list any better, Courtney, is our good friend Nathaniel Flint.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
So let me, Rebecca, let me fill you
I'm
in
gonna
on
die
a
on this
little Enchanted Sweater lore. Bree really wants this card in.
Listen, in Amber Steel, okay, so picture this. Turn 1, you play Cindy. Okay. Turn 2, Cindy sings Let the Storm Rage on whatever dork they have.
If she's still there. Yeah.
And, yeah. And then you get to play Nathaniel Flint instead of Smee on turn 2, which he's still a 3/3 that quest for 2, but he doesn't gain damage every turn. So
And Bree's last and final point that she always likes to throw out, and he's a captain. So then the
he's
next
captain.
turn you can
So
play.
then you can't play your Smee. I'm gonna die on this.
Don't worry. She hasn't gotten anyone else besides her husband to be a believer of this card. So
That's so funny.
Also, I just really like the art. It is a
good
good.
It's a cool card. It's a cool card.
I will agree.
My hill that I always die on with a list like this is I always think you should have Vanessa over the Troubadour.
That's fair.
Oh.
I agree.
I don't disagree. I play both.
Yeah.
So I play both. I like having both in my list. Sometimes the Troubadour feels better in the matchup with the resist one, and I'm not looking for it to be the Rapunzel
target.
But if I'm looking for a Rapunzel target, I want Vanessa 100%.
Which is also Rapunzel's also another reason why you don't need Nathaniel, because you want Smee there to take 2 damage. So then you can.
Yeah, but everyone
play
always
Rapunzel.
plays around Rapunzel. They expect Rapunzel. What they don't expect is
Nathaniel Flint.
You put it down, they're like, what is that? And I love playing a good card where you put it down and your opponent has to say, can I see that?
What is that card? Yeah.
It just makes my heart happier. I'm like, haha.
Absolutely. And then this Blurple deck is really cool. So,
what's that Anna? I don't even know. What does she do?
Exactly.
Is that the one where if you have an Elsa in play, you get to draw a card?
Yes, that is that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I've seen her starting to filter into this deck. But the Monstros in here, this, if piloted well, I think could be a very dangerous deck.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this.
But this definitely looks to me, and I say this also similarly about like the bend to your will style decks. This deck, oh no, I know it's
my face. I'm like, no.
You really cannot pick this deck up and be like, oh, I'm going to play this tomorrow. It's definitely a deck you have to learn and like figure out the play lines for to be comfortable with and to like really succeed with it. Because I think these types of decks are definitely like, if you make a mistake, it's very unforgiving.
I feel like Blurple in general is kind of like that.
Yeah,
I feel like any version of Blurple that you see out there, that deck is not just like a pick up and go kind of deck. It's because there's so many decision points that if you mess up anywhere, then
you can literally pinpoint it to a single move where you did something wrong and be like, okay, this small thing is where it started snowballing.
Yeah.
But it's very fun to play.
Fun.
It's how my brain works. I feel like this deck. Purple just goes well with how my brain works. Playing things, I get to pull this back and just bouncing things back and forth. It just works well with my brain.
Yep.
Are you planning to plan any set champs?
I am.
Ooh,
yes.
Awesome.
Yep. So in 3 weeks, I think. I forget when, but yes, I'm probably just going to do one. I did one last time as well. I might do a second one if it works out with schedules, but we shall see.
Yeah, I know I'm planning to play one this weekend. I haven't totally decided what I'm going to play. I know I'll probably play testing later this week with some of our friends here locally. So I'm excited. I really like the card this set. I'm a big Jafar fan. I love Jafar Wheel is like my favorite deck to play, which is not good right now in the meta. Don't take that if you have a strong skill song meta in your area. I highly discourage you from taking Jafar Wheel. It will not do well.
My son is going to play Amber Steel.
Oh, awesome.
And so, which he's not played that before, but he's really enjoying it. And
he typically plays, I feel like, Ruby Amethyst, or is he
Ruby Sapphire?
Ruby Sapphire. That's what I thought.
Which is actually really interesting that he's now switched to Amber Steel, because I think it's usually, or before this set, Ruby Sapphire would eat Amber Steel for breakfast, but the Amber Steel that you see with the rhinos out now, it can get under the Ruby Sapphire deck. And I think that because he knows Ruby Sapphire so well, that's good for him. So if he does come up against that matchup, then I think that he will feel confident knowing how to play against it.
Absolutely.
So he's playing Amber Steel, and so that, because we don't have like double play sets of everything that takes both those colors out for me.
Pick a different two colors.
Yeah, but that's okay. My favorite deck to play is always Ruby Amethyst, and I know it's not like top deck right now, but it's
good though.
It's always good.
My old reliable. It's never
exactly. It's never bad. And there's a couple of different versions out there of Ruby Amethyst. I haven't decided which one I'm going to try to play, but that's probably what I'll end up doing, just because it's the deck that I feel most comfortable with, and it's the deck that I have most fun playing.
That matters a ton. We always say play what you enjoy playing, even if it's not meta, because that's how you're going to have a good day. Set champs are longer than League is, so you want to be playing something you're enjoying.
Yeah.
Exactly. So definitely agree with that. Well, we do have a little announcement, and I didn't warn Rebekah about this. We have a local event in the DFW area that right before we went live today, both of us have been drinking some Diet Coke.
I did.
And out of solidarity.
we got word that there might be another Diet Coke Invitational coming up. Oh, sorry. This was not what it was supposed to be. But I thought everyone might get a good laugh out of this. You probably saw it a lot today.
I've seen that. Yep, the new playmat.
I do have a good announcement to share. We're going to be having the second Diet Coke Invitational in September, September 21st here in DFW. We're very excited.
The entry is legitimately a pack of like a 12 pack of Diet Coke. Like that is what you need to play.
It's real. We had the first one and it was super successful. So it's one of our teammates here locally puts this event on, and it's fantastic. The limit for the event is even larger. You can register today. The cost of the tournament is truly just a 12 pack of Diet Coke, because it fuels Kirby, who hosts it, her life basically, and she always needs a constant stock. So there will be, once again, the 9 Enchanteds plus for the top 8 players that they get to pick. There will also be a special art card like there was last time. It hasn't been announced yet. It will be announced soon and revealed. We're definitely going to have lots more announcements about the DCI in the coming weeks, but excited to announce that.
Very excited. I'm hoping I can actually get to go to this one. Last time I had some family stuff come up, so I missed this and Hunter Burton because of family emergencies. And so I am hoping that I'll actually get to be there for this one. I was there for briefly. I came to say hi and support Kirby, and tell them I
This
love
is the
them.
first time
I'll
I did
donate
commentary.
some things for the prize pool, that we had some extras of.
Fun.
And so that's also
Yeah,
the fun thing about it last time was the prize pool between several people just ended up just like donating things to the event for Kirby.
Aw.
And the prize pool ended up actually being larger than what had been advertised, which everyone always loves more prizes. So
yeah.
Always.
So it was pack per win, and then top 8 also got Enchanted. So it was a great event. Really good community built event. So it was a fun time, and we're excited for round 2. I think it's going to be bigger and better this year from what I hear.
Woohoo. It's
So,
exciting.
very exciting. We love a good big event. We say we just had PPG, which was a huge event in DFW, but aside from that, we really don't have much going on around DFW as far as like large tournaments. It's primarily just like leagues.
Yeah.
So it's any excuse to have a large group of people together is always fun.
Yeah. I think also with the lack of DLCs this year, I think hopefully that will encourage communities to put on more local events, in around the states and everything, because people want to play the game and they want to get together with the community, and so that's awesome that
I
you
feel
guys
like
are doing it
Southside
again.
Gaming has been doing a good job of being the kind of like the leading the charge in that. And hey, you know what?
Yeah.
There's not a big event, so we're just going to do one here.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's kind of started the trend. So hopefully we can just keep it going.
Yeah.
Well, we want to appreciate you for your time and for joining us. So if you want to share where everyone can follow you, I know it's also included in our show notes, but have your moment.
Yeah. have my moment. Yeah, it's at Rebekah Quests everywhere, and I do spell Rebekah differently up here, Rebekah. I mostly hang out on Instagram, but I can be found on all the other socials as well, including YouTube, which I only have a couple videos up there. But I don't know. I've tried around with the idea of starting to do more YouTube videos. We'll see.
Definitely recommend, if you haven't watched Rebekah's long form video on Worlds, go out there and watch it. It's very good. I really enjoyed watching it.
You might cry if you're a crier.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me on. It was super fun to chat with you guys and share about Worlds and my journey and stuff. And I love what you guys do. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we will see everyone here next week, same time. And as always, thank you for liking, following, and subscribing and all that fun jazz. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.